Good morning and happy Sunday. While we wait for the top of the hour, I have so many oils lined up to utilize right now. And today I have my watch up here as well, and just in case that alarm had not gone off. But as I said, happy Sunday. Happy rebirth. This is a time of moving. Many across the entire planet are talking and thinking about moving, celebrating, moving from the darkness into the light. This period of rebirth in the northern hemisphere, this goes right along with the seasons, the season of spring, which is that rebirth. I'm here in the southern hemisphere, but very close to the equator, where we have a period of rebirth all year long with very little difference in the amount of sun and the amount of darkness each day. I love it that way. However, while I'm waiting for these few minutes to go by for more people to come online, and it's so happy to see so many of you here already, I'm going to just think about this as an awakening, and I'm going to apply Awaken blend with the intent that I awaken to all of the gifts, the possibilities, the joys that are available to me. And I intend to gain clarity on my messages from my connection with the source, which is becoming stronger every single day through my intent and repeated connections. I'm also going to apply unity. If you don't have all these oils, that's okay. In case you wonder, of course I have my oils of rainbow healing sitting right here, and I've already used them once, and we'll talk about them again. But I'm going to also intend to remain in present time. Why is it that we choose to look back at the way things were, or attempt to plan the way things will be? The reality is, we have this present moment, and what we do in this present moment is the most important thing that we can possibly do. I appreciate the fact that every one of you is here in this present moment and choosing to share with me and the others online with our social distancing this moment. And this moment of joy, this moment of change. Speaking of joy, that is another one of the blends that I'm choosing to apply today and use a lot to increase the joy in my life and to reach my highest potential. And of course, I may save this for the end, or I'll just use it again. Guess what this one is? If you guessed believe, you're absolutely correct. So, let's actually get started. I've babbled so it is after the top of the hour, and I will try not to keep you too long. We have been talking over the last few weeks. I started to say years. It may feel like years to many of you because of the changes involved, but we have been talking about the difference between the 30-day transformation and the new life journey, which Stephen and I kind of created. Me, as being the former math teacher, love to have a little bit of structure, a routine, a way of doing things repetitively. Because as we do things repetitively, we ingrain them in our process, and we just begin to do them without having to really think about what comes next. And What we have last week, we talked about the first 4 glyphs, those first 4 steps: forgiveness, structure, authenticity, and compassion, as being the preparation. We used our oils of geranium, this being to unblock any of the blocks at the physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual levels. Then we started building our own unique energy signature, our energy flow that will allow us to be the very best that we can be. And then we began looking to see, taking off our masks with the cedarwood and copaiba. I forgot that the structure is the essential oil of lavender. But the authenticity, to begin really looking into who we are and to have compassion and nurture that energy of the Northern Lights black spruce, Idaho blue spruce, and Idaho balsam fir, which will soon be grand fir. This energy to allow us to nurture ourselves. All of these steps have been preparation for this greatest moment of all, which is taking that breath of life, that change, that moment where we move from the darkness, from the past, into our new life. And this is the energy of orange essential oil, and the energy of the calcite. I have here with me my crystal, my tiny little tumblestones of the orange calcite. I also have with me the biggest rock, of course, of the crystal of calcite that I could have, and I'll have it right next to me to allow me to embrace the change. We don't know what is ahead. We know that nothing ever stays the same. Would you agree? This moment is not going to be the same as the next moment. So as we embrace the changes, allow the changes, we can then move forward. If we're holding on to the way that we used to do things, we're going to fight. It's going to be like, I talked about riding the wave. It's going to be like fighting that huge wave that comes up. You will be buffeted around. If we allow changes and grow with every single day, that's what this new life journey is all about. Now, as I gave last week, I talked about the daily process, because this is that just a little structure to follow. And I gave the awakening alignment and the evening integration process and little steps. Now, I'm going to confess to you right now, I have found now, I had to write them in some order. I'm reminded of when Gary Young was caught to finally do a video of the raindrop technique. It took them 6 months and so many takes on the video before he got to the point that he said, okay, we'll use this one. Is that what he continued to use every time? Absolutely not. So if your steps are interchanged, I have found out, I have on my list, because I wrote it down from what I said last week, to review the refinement list. Write any additions and changes. Write the top 3 priorities in your journal. And then number 4 was construct the sacred space. Well, this week, that hasn't felt like the right thing for me. The first thing I have done upon awakening is to create my sacred space, to create that connection, to make sure that that connection with the source was there, and to put up my boundaries so that the chaos, the distractions are out of the way, and to create that harmony and that balance inside so that I can begin my day with that, in that state, and using all of my oils on the journey of the glyph, which I had written as number 5. But it really is all in with number 1, which is creating the sacred space. And my breathing is part of breathing in the oils, the new breath of life. So I am not doing mine in the order that I gave, and it's important for you to play around with what is the best order for you. It's just important to get to actually do it. And then the last was writing in the journal. That's the most difficult thing for me, generally speaking, because I am so tempted to look at Facebook and answer messages and look and see what others are doing. And that will take me away from this space that I choose to begin my day and to remain in. Have any of you found that it really does change you when you start reading all these things of other people? Because it's like so often, if someone else is not in a good space, they're dumping that into the message that you're reading. And if your boundaries are not up, if you're not in your sacred space, it may rock you quite a bit. So I encourage you to find the correct order for what you do when you awaken in the morning, as that truly is the most important time of the day. Immediately after awakening will totally set you for the day. And then as we go through our day, we're going to pay attention to these next steps. And the next step is to embrace after the change begins. It's going to be a bit, different. That's the only way to think about it. We cannot change and also remain the same. So as we change, let's embrace, let's accept who we are, where we are on our journey, and allow this process to go on. This is that calming influence of sacred frankincense and frankincense, that silvery energy of hematite crystal. And as we embrace who we are, we can take that next step, these 2 steps after the big change of the breath of life. These 2 steps are kind of getting us the finishing polishes, letting the things go, and this is that release, the freedom that we feel once we release our fear. How many have felt any fear creep into your life in this past week or weeks or months? The fear gets us shaken. It shakes our beliefs. How many have you found that your beliefs have been changing? As you breathe in the new breath of your new life, things are going to change. There is no way they are not going to change. So we can let go of our beliefs about the way they have to be. All those plans we made for so long may not be applicable anymore. So it's time to let go. Let go of the fears, the beliefs, the ways of doing things before, the attachments. Attachments. I laugh and tell you about my attachment to boxes and bags. It's things that get in our way, that clutter our entire being. It's time to let them go. And once we do, allow them to be gone. Applying lots of lemon, and with lemon essential oil, is known for its detoxifying properties. So I am using a lot of lemon now. I'm drinking the Lemon Plus, or the Vitality in the US. I'm drinking that in my water first thing because I want to get rid of whatever was holding on from yesterday. And I want to bring in the new things that are available to me today. So that is that energy also, the crystal of citrine. And then this is the most exciting part of all to me, because those first 4 steps were preparation. Then we had that massive change that all of us are experiencing. Would you agree? And then we had this little period of embracing what we're finding out and letting go of more stuff. So now there's room to call back all of our knowledge and abilities to understand more about how we can move forward. And you and the source know this. The stronger that connection is with the source, you and the source can reweave yourself back together the way you were designed to be. And then that 9th step, that pale pink energy of unity. This is the energy of jasmine essential oil, and this is the energy of ylang-ylang. This will allow everything to work together in harmony. No harmony, there's going to be trouble. And I don't know about you, but I choose harmony in every aspect of my life. My refinement list, as I look through it, harmony is always very close to the top on the things that I choose to have in my life. And the things that I choose not to have, the things that I will not allow in my life, are going to be disharmony. Anything that would bring about disharmony is something I choose to push outside my sacred space. And then that final thing, just allowing the expansion process as we are more and more of who we were created to be. Allowing ourselves to radiate outward, to our energy, who we are, to positively impact others. There's no real secret to this journey. It's just a way of helping us to focus. And I did not even mention the essential oils on those last 3, but the divine union is that essential oil of jasmine, that color of that violet color, which is also anchored by blue lace agate, can be anchored by the crystals of blue lace agate, sugilite, and chirite. And the getting everything to work together in harmony, whether it's at the physical level, the emotional level, the spiritual level, the energetic level. That is the energy of ylang-ylang and rose quartz. And then that final one is the sandalwood. So as we move about, I love these fluorite crystals that we got in Singapore, Malaysia, and Indonesia last month. Absolutely wonderful, and I'm greedy because I got more than one. Just holding these crystals, rubbing them with that energy of sacred mountain, or any of the energies, intending that these crystals anchor the frequencies of harmony and the sacred space. Crystals have that ability to hold energies. They also have the ability to hold energies that may not be supportive for you. So it is very important to play with your crystals and to love them and to have them there with you outside, where they can feel, when I say outside, in the air, in the sun in the moon so that they can experience rebirth and renewal just as we do. We cannot live without the sun. Every one of us requires the sun. We also require the energy of the moon, that yin-yang interplay at all times. So as you're playing with your crystals, they are storing this positive energy, which anytime you require it, they can give it back to you. Isn't that fun? So as we're doing our daily process, and all of us do have more time to do things now, would you agree? This is, to me, the greatest gift of this particular period, the virus. We have time that we normally were rushing around from one thing to another. You can look at it as a period of confinement. Oh, it's horrible. Or you can look at it as an opportunity to do things that were not available to you previously. So as I'm looking at my watch, because I never know how long I'm talking, I challenge you to really utilize this time as a time of change. Draw in those frequencies of the breath of life. Get out your app if you don't have the cards. Look at that card, the shape of the glyph of the breath of life. Read about it. Utilize it in your daily process, your morning alignment and your evening integration. And intend to infuse these moments, these days, this present time that is creating your future with more and more connection with the source, which will allow you to have greater guidance, more joy, more passion. Enter into your new life with excitement, and I'll look forward to seeing you next week.